Chapter 1 Pillow Talk. Once when the royal bed was laid out for Aliel and Maeve in Cruachan Fort in Connacht, they had this talk on the pillows. "It is true what they say, love," Aliel said. "It is well for the wife of a wealthy man." "True enough," the woman said. "What put that into your mind?" "It struck me," Aliel said, "how much better off you are today than the day I married you." "I was well enough off without you," Maeve said. "Then your wealth was something I didn't know or hear much about," Aliel said, "except for your woman's things, and the neighbouring enemies making off with loot and plunder." "Not at all," Maeve said, "but with the High King of Ireland for my father, Écid Féileach the Steadfast, the son of Finn, the son of Finneman, the son of Finan, the son of Fingal, the son of Roth, the son of Regan, the son of Blachtacht, and the son of Beotacht, the son of Éine Agnacht, the son of Angus Turbeck. He had 6 daughters, Dervu, Ethna, Ella, Clochru, Muigan, and myself, Maeve, the highest and haughtiest of them. I outdid them in grace and giving and battle and warlike combat. I had 1,500 soldiers in my royal pay, all exile sons, and the same number of free-born native men. And for every paid soldier, I had 10 more men, and 9 more, and 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And that was only our ordinary household. My father gave me a whole province of Ireland. This province ruled from Cruachan, which is why I am called Maeve of Cruachan. And they came from Finn, the king of Leinster, Rus Ruad's son, to woo me, and from Corpra Nafer, the king of Tever, another of Rus Ruad's sons. They came from Concobar, king of Ulster, son of Factna, and they came from Écid Beck. And I wouldn't go, for I had a harder wedding gift than any woman ever asked before a man in Ireland: the absence of meanness and jealousy and fear. If I married a mean man, our union would be wrong, because I'm so full of grace and giving. It would be an insult if I were more generous than my husband, but not if the two of us were equal in this. If my husband was a timid man, our union would be just as wrong, because I thrive myself on all kinds of trouble. It is an insult for a wife to be more spirited than her husband, but not if the two are equally spirited. If I married a jealous man, that would be wrong too. I never had one man without another waiting in his shadow, so I got the kind of man I wanted. Rus Ruad's other son, yourself, Aliel, from Leinster. You aren't greedy or jealous or sluggish. When we were promised, I brought you the best wedding gift a bride can bring. Apparel enough for 12 men, a chariot worth thrice 7 bondmaids, the width of your face of red gold and the weight of your left arm of light gold. So if anyone causes you shame or upset or trouble, the right to compensation is mine, Maeve said, for you are a kept man. By no means, Aliel said, but with 2 kings for my brothers, Corpra and Tever and Finn over Leinster, I let them rule because they were older, not because they are better than I am in grace or giving. I never heard in all Ireland of a province run by a woman, except this one, which is why I came and took the kingship here in succession to my mother, Mata Morisk, Magach's daughter. Who better for my queen than you, a daughter of the High King of Ireland? It still remains, Maeve said, that my fortune is greater than yours. You amaze me, Aliel said. No one has more property or jewels or precious things than I have, and I know it. Then the lowliest of their possessions were brought out, to see who had more property and jewels and precious things. Their buckets and tubs and iron pots, jugs and wash pails, and vessels with handles. Then their finger rings, bracelets, thumb rings, and gold treasures were brought out. And their cloth of purple, blue, black, green, and yellow, plain grey and many-coloured, yellow-brown, checked, and striped. Their herds of sheep were taken in off the fields and the meadows and plains. They were measured and matched, and found to be the same in numbers and size. Even the great ram leading Maeve's sheep, the worth of 1 bondmaid by himself, had a ram to match him leading Aliel's sheep. From pasture and paddock, their teams and herds of horses were brought in. For the finest stallion in Maeve's stud, worth 1 bondmaid by himself, Aliel had a stallion to match. Their vast herds of pigs were taken in from the woods and gullies and waste places. They were measured and matched and noted, and Maeve had one fine boar, but Aliel had another. Then their droves and free wandering herds of cattle were brought in from the woods and wastes of the province. These were matched and measured and noted also, and found to be the same in number and size. But there was one great bull in Aliel's herd that had been a calf of one of Maeve's cows. Finnbennach was his name, the white-horned. And Finnbennach, refusing to be led by a woman, had gone over to the king's herd. Maeve couldn't find in her herd the equal of this bull, and her spirits dropped, as though she hadn't a single penny. Maeve had the messenger Macroth called, and she told him to see where the match of the bull might be found in any province in Ireland. "I know where to find such a bull, and better," Macroth said. "In the province of Ulster, in the territory of Coolagna, in Daire Macfiacna's house. Don Coolagna is the bull's name, the brown bull of Cooley." "Go there, Macroth," Maeve said. "Ask Daire to lend me Don Coolagna for a year. At the end of the year he can have 50 yearling heifers in payment for the loan, and the brown bull of Coolagna back. And you can offer him this too, Macroth. If the people of the country think badly of losing their fine jewel, the Don Coolagna, if Daire himself comes with the bull, I'll give him a portion of the fine plain of A equal to his own lands, and a chariot worth thrice 7 bondmaids, and my own friendly thighs on top of that." Messengers set out to Daire Macfiacna's house. There were 9 of them with Macroth. Macroth was soon made welcome in Daire's house, as befitted Ireland's chief messenger. Daire asked him what had brought him on this journey, and the chief messenger told him why he came, and about the squabble between Maeve and Aliel. "So, I'm here to ask for the loan of Don Coolagna to match against Finnbennach," he said. "And you'll get 50 yearling heifers back in payment for the loan, with the Don Coolagna himself and more besides. If you come with the bull yourself, you'll get a portion of the fine plain of Eye equal to your own lands, and a chariot worth thrice 7 bondmaids, and Maeve's friendly thighs on top of it all." Daire was delighted and jumped for joy till the seams of his cushion burst under him, and he cried, "True as my soul, I don't care what the Ulstermen think. I'll take my treasure, the Don Coolagna, to Aliel and Maeve in the land of Connacht." Macroth was pleased at Fiacna's decision. Then they were looked after, and rushes and fresh straw were settled under them. They were given the best of good food and kept supplied with the festive fare, until they grew drunk and noisy. 2 of the messengers were talking. One of them said, "There's no doubt the man of the house here is a good man." "A good man, certainly," the other said. "Is there a better man in Ulster?" the first messenger said. "There is, certainly," the second messenger said. "His leader, Conchobar, is a better man. If the whole of Ulster gave in to him, it would be no shame for them. Anyway, it was good of him to give us the Don Coolagna. It would have taken 4 strong provinces of Ireland to carry it off from Ulster otherwise." A third man joined the talk. "What are you arguing about?" he said. "This messenger here said the man of the house here is a good man." "A good man, certainly," the other said. "Is there a better man in Ulster?" the first messenger said. "There is, certainly," the second messenger said. "His leader Conchobar is a better man. If the whole of Ulster gave in to him, it would be no shame for them. But it was good of him to give us what the 4 strong provinces of Ireland would be needed to take from Ulster." "I'd as soon see the mouth that said that spout blood. We would have taken it anyway, with or without his leave." At that moment, the man in charge of Daire Macfiacna's household came into the hut, with a man carrying drink and another man with food, and heard what they were saying. He was seized with fury and put down their food and drink, saying, "Eat, nor don't eat." He went straight back to Daire Macfiacna's hut and said, "Did you give our famous treasure, the Don Coolagna, to Maeve's messengers?" "Yes, I did," Daire said. That was not a kingly thing to do. "What they said is true. If you hadn't given him up freely, the host of Aliel and Maeve and the cunning of Fergus MacRoich would have had him without your leave. By the gods I worship, nothing leaves here until I choose to let it. They waited until morning. The messengers got up early the next day and went to Daira's hut. Tell us, sir, where to find the Don Culania. I will not, Daira said. And only it isn't my habit to murder messengers or travellers or any other wayfarers. Not one of you would leave here alive. Why is this? Makrut said. For a good reason, Daira said. You said if I didn't give willingly, the hosts of Alilan Maeve and Fergus Cunning would make me give. Indeed, Makrut said, what messengers say into your food and drink hardly deserves your notice. You can't blame Alilan Maeve. Still, I won't give up my bull this time, Makrut, as long as I can help it. So the messengers set off again and came to Cruachan, the stronghold of Connacht. Maeve asked them for the news, and Makrut said Daira wouldn't give up his bull. Why not? Maeve said. Makrut told what happened. We needn't polish the knobs and knots in this, Makrut, Maeve said. It was well known it would be taken by force if it wasn't given freely. And taken it will be.